Although there's tons of reviews out there, many times I feel they just don't tell me what I want to know. That's why I decided to do this video. In this case, I want to show you the microphone Boya BY-M1 and how it performs under the following conditions. First, powered by my DSLR. Second, powered by my phone, Nokia. Third, powered by my MacBook Pro. So in this video, we'll take a look at the waveforms that comes out of that and analyze it. Stay tuned. To run this test, I'll be using the same sound source that will be captured. In this case, this is a Bluetooth speaker playing a recording. I'll be keeping the distance fixed between the speaker and the microphone, so any differences will come from the system that captures the sound. Or that's what we think. So here goes the test. Playing the original audio through the speaker. We have 3 recordings plus the original audio source. We can look at that in Audacity. By looking at the waveforms, we can tell the loudness of a signal. 100% is maximum loudness before there's distortion, so you don't want to go over it. Also, notice that there's dark colors, which means peak values, and lighter colors, which means average values. Okay, now I have all my tracks lined up in Audacity. So first off, I'm gonna normalize them. So we can see here we have the original audio, the app ASR using my phone, the Canon DSLR, and the MacBook Pro. So first off, we can see that not all the profiles are the same. We can see that the ASR is quite flat, while these ones have some curvature. For example, we can see here this like little wedge present that was captured by the MacBook and the Canon, but not by the app. Okay, so another way we can analyze this is by taking a look at the spectrograms. So let me switch now to spectrogram view. Besides waveform, we'll be looking at spectrograms. The spectrogram is a frequency representation of a signal. It's just a representation, it doesn't change the signal. By looking at spectrograms, we can see what frequencies appear more often. So now based on what we know from spectrograms, we can see first off that this one presents a huge gap here in this area. Roughly around 7K onwards, we can see that there's a gap of information. This means that there's no data for these frequencies. For the Canon, we can see that there's a straight line here and another line here. This is a very high pitch frequency, maybe some electrical thingy that was captured while the Canon was recording, but was not present in the other ones. The Canon captured a lot of extra noise in all frequencies, whereas the MacBook Pro was able to capture only certain frequencies. If we compare with the original, we can see that the Canon has too much information where there should be none, whereas the MacBook Pro has maybe too little information for high frequencies. Also, we see that the app was the one that performed the worst, having no information for high frequencies whatsoever. One more thing, we can use different scales to represent something. So in this case, we can either consider a linear scale, in which larger things are the ones that are easier to see, or a logarithmic scale, which puts detail at every level, but can be more unintuitive. This is just a representation, it doesn't change the actual information, it's just how we present it. Now we can see a different picture, so everything's in a log scale. You can see how from 100 to 1000, 1000 to 10,000 is the same distance. And what this tells us is that, for example, the Canon picked up a lot of low frequency sounds, whereas the MacBook Pro did a much better job of not doing so. We can see here that the camera captured some sounds in these frequencies that were not present for the other ones, probably something that happened while I was recording. The benefit of the logarithmic scale is that it shows us what happens in the low frequencies, medium frequencies, and high frequencies all in the same picture. We can see how the microphone itself is not the full picture. You need to consider where you're going to plug it in.
So that's something I always wanted to know. Cheers.